There's some interesting facts about aging. So you actually lose 1% of collagen per year starting at age 25. So the accelerated aging comes from sugar, pollution, UV exposure, stress, inflammation, glycation, which is basically sugar chemical process that happens, and smoking is also not good for your vitality, lack of sleep, or as we were saying, the heavy metals, right? So what are some good anti-aging practices? So just so you know, the every emotion that we suppress also finds a way to surface. And the skin is often that outlet, our body's way of expressing that what we don't, right? So when we blush, for example, we reveal vulnerability. When we're pale, we show fear. When we break out, it's often because we're under pressure. So the skin sensitivity mirrors our emotional boundaries. And if those boundaries are weak, if we're absorbing too much from others, our skin reacts. So keep that in mind, because the stress increases your skin permeability by 70%, allowing more toxins and pathogens to penetrate. So mindfulness, grounding, and emotional release are shown to restore the skin barrier and reduce flare-ups. So this is important to consider, not just the physical body, like I was saying, there's also the spiritual boundary, because the skin represents the separation and unity at the same time. The awareness that we are distinct beings, yet still connected to everything around us, right? Because every pore breathes the external world into our inner terrain, our beautiful bodies. And then when we cleanse, moisturize, or touch our skin, we're not just maintaining appearance. I know most people these days are only concerned about appearances, but we're actually nurturing the body's interface with the universe. That's why I was saying that the practice of self massage, especially with gratitude, becomes a daily ritual of returning home to the body, because you're telling your body that you're safe here and then you belong in your own skin. So that's extremely important. Now, I was talking about all the different anti-aging, different things that you might need for like your diet. But there's also, like I was saying, the daily practices and the weekly practices and the nutrients. So just to recap this part, vitamin A regulates your cell turnover, and that's where you can find it in carrots, sweet potatoes. Vitamin C is like the citrus, papaya, or the bell peppers, because it's really good for collagen synthesis. The vitamin E, which is an antioxidant, is the protection against the UV damage, and you can find that in almonds, sunflower seeds. Now, and the zinc is really helpful for regeneration and repair, and that's when we're talking about pumpkin seeds and lentils. Omega-3s is also not in this list, but it's very important to reduce inflammation and maintain your hydration. And that was when we mentioned the chia and flax seeds. Finally, the probiotics to support your skin microbiome. And that's a lot of the fermented foods and yogurt. I'm lactose intolerant, but there's other options too. But I would say, above everything, emotional and physical, hydration is key. Water carries nutrients to the dermis and flushes a lot of the waste, sorry. And if you add a pinch of salt or electrolytes, you will enhance the absorption. Of course, as always, just avoid alcohol, refined sugar, or anything that is hydrogenated oils, because they really, really accelerate the process that I mentioned before is glycation, which is it kind of creates the stiffness in the collagen fibers, and that's what causes premature aging. So all of these things to keep in mind. Now let me go back to our other chapter the other slide before we close this chapter. So again, antioxidants are really important for anti-aging, sleep hygiene, strength training, sun protection. But again, hydration is key. The omega-3s, the low glycemic diet, adaptogens, consistent skincare, and the most important thing, lymphatic movement. Okay, just a closing note, because remember that your skin is not superficial, it is sacred, and it's the first thing that the world sees, and it will be the last thing we learn The last thing we learn to truly listen to, right? And that's it's through its warmth and the sensitivity and resilience of the skin that teaches us how to balance, openness with protection and transparency with strength. And when we honor it through nutrition, rest, mindful touch, we learn one of our life's most beautiful truths is that you don't exist inside your skin, right? You are your skin, and that's the living boundary between worlds. That's what we call it. And well, I just wanted you to remember also, now that we're closing the course, that your body is a perfect design with self-repair capabilities, and nothing happens, like everything happens with a reason. Nothing is just because, oh yeah, it just happened to be, your skin is smart and your body is smart, your thyroid, your bones, your pancreas, and every part of your body, they know exactly what they're doing. You just need to help them do its best work. And the best way to support it is with a good diet, good sleep, hydration, and removing all the heavy metals in your body. So, interesting fact, the skin regenerates every 28 days. Your thyroid, it does the same about 3 to 6 months. The bones regenerate every 8 weeks. Pancreas regenerates approximately every 6 to 12 weeks. Your heart generates every 4 to 5 years, and your muscles regenerate every 4 to 8 weeks. The liver regenerates every 365 days. So that's what I'm saying. The liver is our biggest ally and filter. So you have to treat them, like your best friend, because he's really there to support you in many ways. The brain tissue regenerates every 1 to 12 years. So that's why it's important that you keep a very, very healthy diet, and especially like no refined sugars. Kidneys and adrenal glands regenerate every 4 to 8 months. So your body's ability to repair is amazing, and it's extremely wise. So you don't have to worry about, making sure that your body is working properly. You just have to make sure that you're giving it everything that it needs in order to be the best version of yourself. Because this is all about the symphony of wholeness, right? Integrating the 10 systems in your daily routine, because it's a journey back to your inner harmony. Because if you come this far, just take a deep breath, of course, because you just explored. And I mean, right now with me, it's not just your anatomy or philosophy; it's really the language of your own aliveness. Because every system, the digestive, lymphatic, respiratory, urinary, cardiovascular, nervous, endocrine, skeletal, reproductive, and integument. Well, actually, all of them. And the skin, of course, is not a separate part of you. They're all instruments in a single orchestra, and they're playing the song of your life. And you, the conscious observer, are both the musician and the melody. So you have to really, really be conscious of that, so your healing journey can begin. And remember this, because the healing journey really, really starts when you are conscious, and then you will feel like it's difficult at first, but then it will become easier. And now we're going to provide you with a lot of good guidelines so you can support your health. But note this, that the healing journey is built up on 3 pillars: your physical body, the emotional body, and the spiritual body. We just touch on the physical body in this course, but we will have other ways, other courses available later for the emotional body and the spiritual body, because each one mirrors the others, right? No one can thrive in isolation. And that's why I say that the body and physical body is your vessel and foundation. And then if you have a balanced body, you give the spirit room to expand. And then the emotional body is your water and flow, right? Every feeling is chemistry in motion. And when healing emotions is really a biochemical liberation. When you have no more blockages, you're actually, there's nothing that will stop you from being your best version. The spiritual body, which is your fire and light, it's your subtle anatomy, right? This is the current that animates everything else. So when all the 3 bodies communicate, when earth supports water and fire and guides them both, the entire human system vibrates as its natural frequency, which is health. And that's all we need to be mindful of. Just how do you keep balance? It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to obsess with anything. You just have to be in your balance, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Now, think of it as a living ecosystem because every single part of it is important. There's no one more important than the other. And detoxing, it's important. Keeping the healthy diet is important. Calming your mind and breathing, just having a moment to just actually feel your body is enough. There are no isolated cures, only interconnected harmonies. Now, we're also gonna provide you with this Ayurveda, which is a guideline that I use. It's pretty helpful if you want to select, like what kind of recipes will work with your stomach because everybody's different. We talk about the agni and how the digestive fire can change based on, your lifestyle and how you process your emotions, how you digest them. So it's important to, I would say, select organic, if possible, or pesticide-free fruits and vegetables. If you strengthen your agni, you will reduce the ama, the toxins, and balance all those three doshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. And we will provide you with the guidelines. But thank you for paying attention to Ayurveda. It's one of the oldest science from India, which is focused on balancing the mind, body, and spirit that we just talked about. It's a lifestyle, really. And it's not just through one diet, you also incorporate herbals, the teas, or the massages, the yoga, the meditation. You don't have to do all of them, but it will help you a lot if you at least start with one of them. Now, I did mention a lot of the biomagnetism throughout all the other chapters. I'm not really, this is a course in itself that I took for me as I was trying to treat my mom. And she had a lot of anxiety, and that's why I started learning about it. And then I applied to myself and all my friends and relatives. And they really appreciate it because it works very well once you know the protocols, which is basically just placing the magnets, the pairs, and then in certain areas of your body to support your health and balance. It's basically all about regulating the pH in your body. And if you're interested, I can send you the information on how to get into this course. I am definitely not teaching that one, but I can guide you through it because I apply this almost every day, not just to me, but other, friends and relatives. Because, the body can fall out of balance through acidity, stress, or environmental toxins. We talk about this a lot. And if you place this opposite magnetic poles over key digestive points, or even like any other place where you need to restore the pH neutrality, you improve the health so much more, especially the circulation and the metabolic efficiency. Again, this is not a replacement for a medical treatment, but they will definitely put you in the right direction if you want to explore something holistic and alternative medicine. I don't call it alternative because it's really it's not even just medicine. It's just your body's adjusting to its proper flow and the balance that it needs. But we're just using different techniques. There's many out there, but this is just one that I've tried and works pretty well. So I highly recommend it. And this is a famous ionic detox I mentioned before. You can actually get this on Amazon. I am thinking that you only need to buy the magnesium to soak your feet, but you can do it with many other, Epsom salts. I think that can work too, but this one works pretty well with magnesium. And it's basically because the ions act as a microscopic magnet and they attract, because they're oppositely charged toxins and drawing them from your body. Yeah, so that's why you need to get them out. And the feet are extremely a good way to eliminate in a very natural way. And it's also because they contain thousands of skin pores, so that helps more to detox your body. And also, when you do this, when I've done it many times, you will have better digestion, a lighter energy, and clearer skin, especially after a series of sessions. If you do one, you will see results, and the water will be extremely dark as you keep going and progressing. The water will probably be less dark, and also depends on your diet and your alcohol consumption, and of course, all the different things that we mentioned in this course. I recommend this bi-weekly or monthly, but again, see the attached guide in order to learn more about this. And then the lab testing, I want you to have these tracking markers because ongoing lab testing is crucial for a proactive health management. And yes, we can do many other ways, of treating our bodies, But if you don't have a comparison point 1 year from the other or month to month, you just aren't gonna, be encouraged to continue. And trust me, you will be very surprised how the levels can change dramatically with all the things that we just talked about. Just removing the heavy metals, eating healthy, exercising, breathing, yoga, or any of the alternative therapies like biomagnetism or ionic detox, or even just the chelation. It's just amazing how your body will react. And then you will see that in your tests, and we will provide you guidelines so you know what tests will help you understand what. Because if you don't even understand your own results, it's kind of hard to know if you're actually making progress, right? And it doesn't have to be complicated. We all can read the basic ones, but then if it gets too complicated, then definitely go to your doctor, and he should be able to explain it in a more detail. Now, for example, there's some of them where you can see how the liver enzymes are, is like improving. So how well the toxins are being processed in your body. The kidneys show if they're like excreted. The gut markers show if they're reabsorbed, and together this paint a story of the detox success, right, or stagnation. So you have liver, kidneys, and the gut, right? So are you processing your toxins? Are you being able to release them? And are you able to absorb what you need in your body? Those are very important markers. And again, I will provide this guideline just so you can understand what kind of tests might be helpful, and to check your vitamin deficiencies, because we don't know what we don't know, right? And always consult with your doctor first. Anyway, I appreciate you for staying all the way until the end of the course. And I really wish you a happy detox and healthy and balanced lifestyle going forward. And I hope that, you contact me and let me know if you have any other questions. Well, bye for now. And thank you again for being part of this journey of healing your own body and becoming your own healer.